What's going on, guys? So I know I'm a little late to the party when it comes to the league reveal and the patch notes and all of that sort of thing. I had originally recorded a video when the reveal first came out, the day of, and I had a couple guys. We did kind of like a watch party in Discord, and the recording ended up being like 4 hours long. And I was like, "There's no way that I can release this as it is." So my original plan was to kind of break that video up and then release a video every day, or every 2 days, something like that. And then I got to thinking and I was like, well, like most people, when they look at a brand new update to a game, like back when I was playing League of Legends, when there was new patch notes, I wouldn't read every single patch notes. I would just look for the characters that I played and be like, hey, did anything change with my champions that I play? And I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. This got buffed, this got nerfed, or hey, nothing changed. And I feel like that's kind of how most people approach these kind of things, especially when they're really big updates. Most people aren't going to go line by line and read and go over every single thing that changed. I mean, if you look at the patch notes, they're massive. Like it's like pages and pages and pages of stuff. And I had originally, like I said, I was going to break that up into multiple videos. And I'm like, nobody wants to watch that. Nobody would want to go through the whole notes, right? So the way that I'm going to come about this is I'm going to go over the patch notes and over the league revealed and the changes that are happening through the lens of a minion player. I'm a minion player. A lot of you guys that have found my channel have, come from my minion build guides. So that's how we're going to go over it. If you're new to the channel, this is your first time here and you're not a minion player, I'm sorry, but that's kind of the best way that I felt to tackle it. So we're going to go over that. And without further ado, we'll jump into it. All right, so these are the patch notes. If you haven't had a chance to take a look at them, there's a lot. It's a lot of stuff. So I did read through all of this myself, and it's a lot to absorb. So we're just gonna go over it, like I said, just with the lens of minion players and kind of how it affects us and what we care about, right? So unfortunately, so if you have been following my build from last league that I made, the pure physical minion build, we didn't get nerfed directly, but there were some proximity nerfs from Detonate Dead. So if you weren't aware, if you didn't play last league or haven't played in a few leagues, Detonate Dead was one of the best skills in the game. It was one of the best builds in the game, and they just completely gutted it for this league. It's gonna basically not be playable unless someone figures out a way to make it work. So that happened. That's a thing. And unfortunately, the target ban, obviously, or the target nerf here was obviously Detonate Dead, but it hit some other skills that maybe some people might be playing. So if you were, playing like, cremation, or there's another corpse skill. I can't remember what it's called, but if you were playing one of those super niche skills that nobody played and, you're like, oh, I'm safe, nobody plays this is not going to get nerfed. Well, unfortunately, if you were using corpses to do your damage, you unfortunately got nerfed. So I don't think it's going to Detonate Dead's going to be playable. Maybe the other skills will maybe be playable still. I don't know. I never played cremation, and I know there's one other corpse skill that I didn't play that one either. So I guess, if you guys do play those skills, let me know in the comments and let me know if it's playable when the league comes out. But I have a feeling if anything if you're using corpses to do your damage, it's just not going to be good anymore or even worth trying to make work. So there's that. Another thing that kind of hit us a little bit too, and it more so spilled into if you were doing cold convert minions. I know a lot of zoo builds did that. Hatred did get a pretty big nerf. So what they changed with Hatred is now it only grants cold conversion. It doesn't grant extra damage, multiplicative damage, which was at one point one of the best auras in the game, which is why most people would usually go Hatred if they were doing any sort of elemental damage. It almost was always cold because Hatred was just so good. So they removed the you and nearby allies deal 14 to 18% more cold damage, and they did up the amount of cold convert that you get from physical damage. So maybe it'll be worth it. I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe with a Watcher's Eye, but I mean, maybe they changed. Let me see. Did they change the Watcher's Eyes too? Wait, hold on. New set of modifiers, purity of elements. Hold on. Minion modifiers are granted physical damage tickets elemental chaos can no longer roll. Okay, so yeah, so they took the. I remember them saying that in the video that they removed the ability to take physical damage as an element to make it harder to get those. I know that they mentioned it's going to be really hard to get 100% taken as an element. It doesn't look like they changed it, so maybe hatred will be usable with the Watcher's Eye, and you get the more cold damage with as an implicit on the Watcher's Eye. Maybe it'll be good enough to run. I don't know. I don't think so, but who knows? So yeah, that was another thing that kind of hit us. Another thing that hit us as well, and this actually does affect our build, is Dread Banner. They completely changed the way Dread Banner works. It no longer grants Impale, which is a huge source of damage in our build. So I'm going to be releasing a video probably tomorrow that's going to go over the changes to the build directly. So I'm not going to go super deep in this video for it, but if you were playing a minion build and using Dread Banner and Generosity support, you will probably not be using this anymore, because what it does now is instead of it granting Impale, now it just gives you a chance to block and your allies a chance to block, and then you heal whenever you block. So I don't think it's worth it, and it's definitely not worth it if you're using it for the Impale effect and the damage effect. I mean, maybe this will help you get to block cap if you're trying to get there, and maybe trying to get your minions to block cap. Not really sure, but I personally will not be running this. I'm going to be running a different skill, which I'm going to go over tomorrow. But yeah, Dread Banner got reworked, so it no longer. Also, banners as a whole got reworked. So if you missed that during the video and you haven't checked it out in the patch notes, banners now no longer have a passive effect. They're only good when you place the banner, but the effect is stronger when you place it. So there might be some other banners that we can use for minions that'll be good. There's a couple I looked at that seemed okay, but the idea of having to place it makes it so where it's only going to be usable on like boss fights and like, you know, really tanky elites. Like maybe if you're doing like essences or something, it might be worth it, but I don't think I'm going to be using banners at all the way that they are now, because it just doesn't make sense. I think they geared it more towards melee. I could be wrong, but they changed it, so I won't be using Dread Banner anymore. Also, we did get another couple of nerfs as well. We got some straight up pretty bad nerfs. So Commander of Darkness no longer it gives us 10 less elemental resistances. So it's going to be a bit harder to get ourselves elemental res capped and our minions elemental res capped. So that's something you're going to have to account for and find a way to make up that 10% either in the tree or some maybe on some jewels, maybe some ghastly eye jewels to get that missing res there, because you definitely want to have your minions pretty close to res cap, because otherwise your stuff's just going to start dying, especially when you get into the hard content. I mean, my zombies were still dying on my build last league, and my minions were block capped. They were Ellie res capped. I had max res, and they were still dying. So the fact that we're going to have less elemental resistances and less life on our minions, it's going to be really tough to keep them alive unless you devote some more resources towards keeping them alive. So that's a little unfortunate. Mindless aggression also got nerfed. We lost 10% multiplicative life, which is huge amount of life loss, like a really, really big amount of life loss for a minion. So we're probably going to have to, if you're following my build guide, we're probably going to have to change the timeless jewel to get one of those nodes, one of the damage nodes, to be life nodes. Again, I'm going to go into this more detail in tomorrow's video, but yeah, you're going to have to account for that life, because that is a pretty big decrease in life. And then also we're losing 2% more damage. This one is not as bad. I mean, 2% damage sucks, but it doesn't suck as much as 10% multiplicative life. Like, that's a lot of life loss. So there's that. One of the good things, though, one of the really good things that we're getting back is we are getting back the Spectres from the Affliction League. Now, I don't know if we're getting all of the Spectres back. I know we are definitely getting the turtle back. I saw that they showed that in the video, the one that gave, what is it, the the energy shield aura. I can't remember what it's called, but they're gonna get that turtle back. As far as I can tell, Hydras are coming back too. So if we get all of the Spectres back, minions are going to be cracked this league. Like we're going to have a field day. Even with these nerfs, those Spectres made our build so strong. And especially now we have the new Wraith Lord Bone Circlet that got reworked to be able to have up to 9 Spectres. This might be a Spectre league. We'll have to see what Spectres they come back with. But as far as I can tell, Hydras are back. The Turtle's back. I don't know what else is back. I would imagine if I had to take a guess, they're probably going to bring back all of the Aura Spectres. You know, the ones that the Grace. You had Determination, all of that stuff. Oh, and that also reminds me, Determination also got gutted too. So we might not be running Determination. Might not be running Determination anymore. Let's see here. So 90 additional armor. Previously 179, so we almost half of the armor and scaling up to 1026. So we basically lost half of the armor granted by Determination. So that is also a huge nerf. So we might not be running Determination anymore. We might have to find something else, another aura to run, because it might not be worth it. I don't know. We'll have to see. I know that they did nerf some of the power level of the monsters and T17s. So maybe this will be okay. I'm not really sure. But yeah, that got nerfed as well. But basically, across the board nerfs for minions. The one positive, or one pretty good positive, is the fact that we're getting the Spectres back, which, depending on what Spectres we get back, could be a huge buff. So maybe that's why we're getting some of these nerfs, and because they're bringing back some of those really powerful Spectres. So, but that's pretty much it when it comes to minions. There's a bunch of other stuff that they change, doesn't really apply to us. I'm trying to make sure there's nothing that I missed that I wanted to go over. I think that's it. Let me just double check to make sure. Let's see, minions. Let's just search here. Oh, so we did now. Chance to Bleed can support minion skills, so you could potentially do like a SRS build, SRS Bleed build. So I mean, if that's what you want to do, you can do that now. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, I forgot about this one. Yep. I'm glad I double checked. Yeah. So this is another potential nerf. I don't know if this is a nerf or this is a buff or this is like kind of a wash. I'm not really sure. So they changed the minion offense passive mastery, which used to let us overwhelm 20%. And now what it does, they remove that line of text, and now it just has a 50% chance for minions to ignore enemies' damage reduction. So less of a chance to overwhelm, but more of a chance to just ignore their physical damage reduction. So the way this is going to work is that enemies that we were that had no armor that we were going to hit, it's going to be a nerf. But enemies that did have armor, it's going to be a buff. So I don't really know if it's going to. I think it's going to kind of even out. I think because we're going to be weaker against unarmored enemies, but we're going to be a lot stronger against armored enemies. So I feel like it's going to kind of just balance it. But I mean, I could be wrong. I guess it also depends on what type of content you're doing as well. But that happened. Let's see if there's anything else here. We already went over mindless aggression. Revenant monsters now use the shared explosion telegraphing user monster corpse explosion. Okay, yeah. So this is just another thing that another detonate dead nerf. And there was a bug that was fixed, right? So that's pretty much it. If there's anything you guys think I missed, let me know in the comment section. But I think that's basically all we really care about as minion players. I'm super excited that the Spectres are coming back. I can't wait to see what they come back with. A little upset about the nerfs, and I'm gonna have to rework a couple things in my build to make it work. There's a couple things I think definitely items are gonna need to change. There's a new shield the shield they released in the video. Can't remember what it's called, but it looks really gross. It basically lowers your percent chance to block your your total, right? So like block cap is 75%. I think it lowers it down to 10% to 65%, but it gives your block chance lucky, which is amazing. If you don't know what lucky does, it basically rolls it twice. So you have a 60% chance to hit, but if it's on lucky, let's say you roll, we're using a D100 as an example. Let's say we roll a D100 and we roll 50, we roll it again, right? So it's more than 60%. I don't know the exact percentage how that would work out, but basically you get to roll it twice. So pretty cool shield. I think we're definitely going to be using that in our build. But yeah, that's it, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the little bell to let you know when I upload new content. I upload usually weekly. These last couple of weeks I've been uploading a lot because there's just been a lot of things that have come out that I wanted to cover right away. So I don't usually release videos that often. It's usually once a week, but sometimes twice a week. So don't get used to these couple of weeks. I won't be releasing content as much as this. I just don't have time to do that. Fortunately, I don't do YouTube full time. Wish I did, but yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Have a great day / night.